One of the most chilling but secret signs that a narcissist wants you gone is when their envy transforms into a destructive obsession. Narcissists thrive on comparisons. They cannot stand the idea of someone close to them shining brighter, achieving more, or even being genuinely happy. To them, your success, your confidence, your growth is not something to admire. It is something to resent. They see your light as a threat to their false image, and instead of celebrating you, they begin to quietly wish for your fall. This envy is not harmless. It begins to consume them, and soon their thoughts are less about building themselves up and more about tearing you down. At first, it might show up as subtle comments, backhanded compliment, or small ways they minimize your achievements. But underneath those small digs lies a much darker truth. They don't just want to dim your light, they want it gone completely. The narcissist begins to focus on you with an intensity that feels unnatural. They watch your every move, they measure your wins against their own failures, and in their twisted mind, the only way to regain control is to see you destroyed. This obsession can take many forms. They may start sabotaging you, spreading lies to damage your reputation, or creating situations that push you into failure. But even beyond actions, it's their mindset that becomes dangerous. They are not content with simply competing with you anymore. They need to see you broken, powerless, erased. It's as if your very existence serves as a constant reminder of everything they lack. And because they cannot tolerate that reminder, they begin to direct all their energy toward wishing you out of their life completely. It's important to understand that narcissistic envy is not like ordinary jealousy. Ordinary jealousy might motivate someone to work harder or to improve themselves, but for the narcissist, envy fuels destruction. They do not want to rise. They want to pull you down. They want to watch you suffer, because in their mind, your suffering is their victory. And that is why their envy is not harmless. It becomes a silent but deadly weapon aimed directly at you. And so when you notice their envy shifting into an unhealthy fixation, understand that it's more than insecurity. It is one of the darkest signs that they no longer just dislike your success. They secretly want your very existence gone. A narcissist's true intent often hides in the way they treat your health and energy. One of the most dangerous signs that they secretly want to see you destroyed is how they deliberately drain you, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. They know they may not be able to attack you outright, but they can weaken you from within, slowly breaking down your strength until you no longer have the energy to fight back. The tactic is subtle and insidious because it can look like normal stress at first, but over time it reveals itself as a deliberate strategy. They thrive on creating chaos, keeping you in constant states of tension, argument, and confusion. The endless cycles of conflict followed by false peace are not accidents. They are designed to wear you out, to make you question yourself, to keep you in a state of exhaustion. When you are tired, when your mind is foggy, when you can't think clearly, you are easier to control. And that is exactly what they want. Because every ounce of energy you lose is energy they gain in power over you. The danger is not only emotional. Stress, manipulation, and gaslighting begin to take a toll on your physical body as well. You may lose sleep, experience anxiety, depression, or even physical illness from the constant pressure. To the narcissist, this is not a side effect. It is the point. They want to see you weaker, because your weakness is proof to them that their power is working. They won't say it out loud, but in their darkest moments, they hope you collapse under the weight of the pressure they create. And they also use this strategy to make you dependent on them. By breaking you down, they position themselves as the only one who can offer you relief, creating the very sickness and then pretending to be the cure. It's a cruel cycle, but it reveals something very important. They are not invested in your survival or your growth. They are invested in your decline. And so when you notice that every interaction leaves you more drained, when you realize that your health is deteriorating under their presence, understand this is not accidental. It is one of the most dangerous and secret ways they show that your destruction is their goal. Isolation is one of the clearest and most dangerous signs that a narcissist secretly wants to see you destroyed. On the surface, it may look like they just want more of your attention or that they dislike certain people in your life, but beneath those excuses lies a much darker intention. When a narcissist pushes you to cut ties with your family, your friends, or your support system, it's not simply about control. It's about removing every lifeline you have so that when they attack your spirit, there is no one left to help you back up. They understand that as long as you are connected to people who care for you, people who remind you of your worth and give you strength, their power over you is limited. So they work systematically to sever those bonds. It may start with subtle comments like, that friend doesn't really care about you, or your family doesn't understand you like I do. Over time, those seeds of doubt grow into walls of division. And before you realize that you're standing alone, cut off from the very people who could have protected you. This isolation serves two purposes. First, it weakens you emotionally. Without a support network, you begin to lean more heavily on the narcissist, even though they are the very person harming you. Second, it ensures that no one else can witness or challenge the abuse. With no outside perspective, their gaslighting and manipulation become more effective. They can twist reality however they want, and you have no one to compare your experiences with. The truth is, isolation is a form of silent destruction. By cutting off your connections, they are not just removing people from your life. They are stripping away your sense of belonging, your identity, and your strength. The loneliness they create is intentional because when you feel completely alone, they believe you will eventually collapse under the weight of it. And so, when you notice that your world is shrinking, that you're being pulled further and further away from those who love you, understand this is not about love or care from the narcissist. It is a calculated move, one of the most secret and telling signs that they want to see you broken and powerless. One of the darkest weapons a narcissist uses when they secretly want you gone is their relentless attack on your self-worth. Unlike physical harm, this kind of destruction is invisible to others, but it can be just as deadly. Narcissists understand that if they can make you believe you are worthless, powerless, and unlovable, then they don't need to physically harm you. You will begin to destroy yourself from the inside out. And so they make it their mission to chip away at your confidence until there's nothing left. This attack comes in many forms. Sometimes it's outright criticism, mocking your appearance, your abilities, or your choices. Other times it's more subtle, disguised as jokes or advice meant to belittle you. They may compare you to others, constantly reminding you of where you fall short. Or they may gaslight you into questioning your own reality, making you believe you're too sensitive, too weak, or too broken to be taken seriously. Over time, these messages sink in, and you start to carry their voice inside your head, doubting yourself even when they're not around. What makes this tactic so cruel is that it attacks the very foundation of who you are. Your identity, your self-respect, your belief in your own value, all of it becomes their target. And the more they succeed in breaking down your self-worth, the more control they gain. Because when you no longer believe in yourself, you stop fighting. You accept their version of reality. You stay stuck in the cycle because you feel you don't deserve better. But here's the truth. Their obsession with tearing down your confidence reveals their greatest fear. They know your strength is powerful. They know that if you believe in yourself, You can walk away, heal, and rise above them. And so their attacks are not proof of your weakness. They are proof of your importance. They need to break you because they know how dangerous your light is to their darkness. And so when you see the constant belittling, the cruel words, the endless attempts to make you feel small, recognize it for what it is. It's not just cruelty, it's one of the clearest and most secret signs that the narcissist wants to erase you by destroying the very core of who you are. Another secret sign that a narcissist wants you gone is when they begin isolating you from everything and everyone that gives you strength. Isolation is one of their sharpest tools because they know that as long as you have support, friends, family, or even your own inner peace, you have the ability to resist them. But once they cut off your connections, once they make you feel completely alone, you become far easier to control and eventually destroy. They do this in ways that are so subtle at first you may not even notice. Maybe they start by criticizing your friends, planting seeds of doubt about their loyalty. They might claim your family doesn't understand you or that they secretly don't care about you. Over time, you start pulling away, believing the narcissist's version of reality. And when that isn't enough, they take a more direct approach. They guilt trip you for spending time with loved ones, make scenes when you try to see them, or even create conflicts that force people away from you. Slowly, your circle becomes smaller until the only person left is the narcissist themselves. What makes this isolation so dangerous is that it leaves you vulnerable. Without outside voices reminding you of your worth, without the comfort of people who love you unconditionally, it becomes harder to recognize the abuse. You're left in an echo chamber where only their voice matters. And in that silence, their cruelty grows louder. They can tear you down without interference. They can control your choices without challenge. And they can make you feel like you have no way out. But this method also reveals something powerful about them. Narcissists don't go to such great lengths to isolate someone unless they feel threatened. They know your connections are a lifeline, and they fear what might happen if you have people reminding you of your strength. Their isolation tactics are not a reflection of your weakness, but a desperate attempt to silence the people and voices that remind you of your truth. So when you notice your world shrinking, when you feel the loneliness pressing in, and realize you've been cut off from what once made you strong, see it for what it really is. It is not love, not protection, but one of the clearest secret signs that the narcissist wants to erase your spirit by ensuring you stand completely alone. The final secret sign that a narcissist wants you gone is when they begin to rewrite the story of who you are, not just to themselves but to others around you. This is when they turn to smear campaigns, whispering lies, twisting truths, and planting seeds of doubt in the minds of anyone who might support you. It's not enough for them to damage you privately. They want to poison the way the world sees you so that when you're gone, it looks as though you were the problem all along. They might start small, dropping subtle hints to others that you're unstable, selfish, or untrustworthy. Over time, these stories grow bigger, darker, more distorted, until the people around you are questioning your character without even realizing how the manipulation got to them. And the narcissist does this with incredible skill. They appear calm, rational, even compassionate as they express concern for you. But behind this mask of care lies the truth. They want to destroy your reputation so thoroughly that no one will believe your side of the story. This tactic is especially cruel because it robs you of your voice. Even if you try to defend yourself, people may already be conditioned to see you as the narcissist has painted you. You end up feeling silenced, erased, and invalidated in ways that cut deeper than the private abuse ever did. And to the narcissist, that silence is a victory. It means you no longer have allies, no longer have a community that can see the truth. But here's the paradox: their need to rewrite your story reveals how much space you actually hold in their mind. If you truly didn't matter, if you were as insignificant as they want you to believe, they wouldn't waste their energy building an entire campaign to destroy you. The smear campaign is their final attempt to control the narrative when they can no longer control you directly. Understanding this sign is critical because it teaches you that your truth cannot be defined by the lies of someone broken inside. It shows you that even as they try to erase you, the depth of their effort proves the power you carry. And that's why when you see your story being twisted and used against you, you must hold on to this awareness. It is one of the clearest signs that the narcissist wants you erased, but it's also undeniable proof that you are far stronger than they ever wanted you to know.